Hello everyone, welcome to Networkers Home live YouTube session. Today we have our senior trainer, Mr. Sharath here. Today he will be talking about Telnet and SSH protocols. Handing over the session to Mr. Sharath.
Okay, thank you, Hari. Thank you for the introduction. So, hello everyone. Today's topic is Telnet and SSH. So, what is Telnet and SSH in networking? Telnet and SSH is remote control protocols. All right. So, why do we need remote control protocols? First of all, see, basically, if you want to take a remote access of a faraway PC, okay. For example, there is a PC in Hyderabad. For example, there is a PC in Hyderabad. Now, just to troubleshoot this Hyderabad PC, if you fly to Hyderabad, troubleshoot the PC, and then fly back to Bangalore, that is a very long time-taking process, right? So what is the alternate feature for that? You can take the access of this Hyderabad PC from your home only, okay? From your home PC, from the Bangalore PC itself, okay? From the Bangalore PC itself, you can take the remote access of this Hyderabad PC. So what will happen is the Hyderabad PC desktop screen will be visible on your Bangalore PC, and then you will be able to troubleshoot the Hyderabad PC. So this saves a lot of time, and even it is cost efficient. So for doing this, we have two types of protocol. Okay, for doing this, we have two types of protocol. We have Telnet and SSH protocol for taking remote access of the devices. Basically, when I say devices, it means routers, switches. So Telnet, first of all, stands for terminal network. It is used as a standard TCP/IP protocol for virtual terminal service, which is given by ISO. Computer which starts the connection is known as local computer. Computer which is being connected to, that is, which accepts the connection, is known as remote computer. So, computer which is being connected to, okay. Computer which starts the connection is known as local computer. So the Bangalore PC is known as the local PC or the local computer, and the computer which accepts the remote connection is known as remote computer. So the Hyderabad PC will be the remote computer. When the connection is established between local and remote computer during Telnet operation, whatever is being performed on the remote computer will be displayed by the local computer. So as I told you, the desktop screen of Hyderabad computer or a faraway PC will be displayed on your computer, so that you can troubleshoot the remote computer or the faraway PC. Telnet operates on client-server principle. Okay. Local computer uses Telnet client program, and remote computer uses Telnet server program. So key points to remember about Telnet. Telnet is an application layer protocol, which means it is a layer 7 protocol and allows the user to connect to an account on another remote machine. Telnet works on port number 23, which was designed specifically for local area networks. Telnet is the standard TCP/IP protocol for virtual terminal service. Okay, so this was a basic protocol which was introduced for remote access. Telnet transfers the data in plain text format. So here comes the disadvantage of Telnet. So Telnet, what it does is it transfers the data packets in plain text format, which obviously makes it very much vulnerable on present internet. So Telnet is vulnerable for security attacks, definitely, because it uses plain text format to send the data. No privileges are provided for users' authentication. The only advantage you can consider is requires low bandwidth usage. And the next point says that it is used in Linux and Windows operating system. So definitely, if it is transferring the text in plain text format, we cannot use Telnet. Okay, in today's internet condition, we cannot use a Telnet operation because it transfers the text in plain text format, and definitely this is not a secure way to transfer the data packets. So what do we do then? So then came SSH. The replacement of Telnet is SSH. Okay, SSH stands for Secure Shell, is a cryptographic network protocol for operating networks securely. Okay, Secure Shell is a cryptographic network protocol for operating network services securely over an unsecured network. So if you use SSH, the connection will be secure, whereas in Telnet, connection will not be secure because there is no encryption or the data is being passed through in a plain text format. Whereas in SSH, there will be encryption. Therefore, it will be a secure connection. SSH provides a secure channel over an unsecured network by using, again, client-server architecture. connecting an SSH client application with an SSH server. The protocol specification distinguishes between two major versions referred to as SSH version 1 and SSH version 2. SSH was designed as a replacement for Telnet and for unsecured remote shell protocols. So what happened is SSH replaced Telnet because now in SSH we have encryption. So therefore SSH is more secure. Okay, all right. Key points to remember about SSH. SSH is again application layer protocol and allows a user to connect to a remote account in a secure way. In Telnet, it was not secure, but in SSH, it is a secure way. SSH runs on port number 22. SSH works on TCP protocol. So Telnet also works on TCP protocol. SSH uses encrypted format to send data and also uses a secure channel. Okay. SSH helps you to overcome many security issues of Telnet. SSH is a more secure protocol, so it uses public key encryption for authentication and requires high bandwidth usage, and it is popularly used in all the operating systems. SSH works on popularly all the operating systems. So now we are going to see the practical for Telnet and SSH. First, I'm going to show you Telnet, then I'll show you SSH. So how do we configure this Telnet? Come to the router. See, I'm going to configure Telnet configuration on the router. So from this PC, I should be able to take Telnet access of the router. Okay, so configure terminal. You can give a host name as maybe R1. Okay, so the network what I have taken here, the network what I have taken is 192.168.10.0 network with the subnet mask /24. For the router, I have assigned 10.10 IP address, that is 192.168.10.10 IP address. PC1 is assigned with 10.1 IP address, PC2 is assigned with 10.2 IP address, and PC3 is assigned with 10.3 IP address. So coming back here, do show IP interface brief. You're able to see that this router is assigned with 10.10 IP address. Okay, now I will be doing Telnet configuration. Line VTY 0,2 because we have two users. 0,2 means three users. Okay, 0,2 means three users. 0, 1, 2. Now 0,4 means 5 users. 0,1 means 2 users. So even 0 is included. 0, 1, 2. We are allowing 3 users to take the Telnet access of this router. And we will say login local exit. You can set a username. In the local database, we will be defining a username, that is CCNA, and password we can set it as 1234. Okay, so here we have told create a virtual tunnel for Telnet access and make them login locally. If anybody tries to take a remote access of this router using Telnet, okay, refer to the local database, and in the local database we have mentioned username and a password. So what will happen is whenever a PC1 or any device tries to take remote access of this router, a router will prompt them with a username and password. All right. So this is all is Telnet configuration. And if you want, you can set a enable password also. Enable password. All right. So now from PC1, first of all, check if there is connection, check if there is connectivity to router. So we are able to ping the router. Now I'll try to take Telnet access. So yes, a router is prompting for username. Since there we have given, here we have given refer to the local database when any router, any device tries to log in, right? So here we have mentioned login local, right? So what will router do is whenever a device PC1, PC2, PC3 tries to take Telnet access of this router, a router will refer to its local database. And in the local database, since we have mentioned a username and password, it is prompting you for username and password. Username is CCNA. Okay. Username is CCNA. password is 1234. I have typed it, but you won't be able to see it. CCNA. The password is 1234. Yes. So I got the access of a router. And now if I press enable, it is prompting me for enable password or privilege mode password. That is 4 zeros. All right. So here the disadvantage is there will be no encryption in the data packet exchange. How? I will show you. No. All right. Now, for example, from PC2, I will ping 192.168. I will ping 192.168.10.10. Reachability is there? Yes. Now try to take telnet access of router. You press enter. Here you are able to see username, right? Now let me come to simulation mode to show you the packet capture. So username, I'll give a CCNA. And if you open this packets, you will be able to read the telnet data. What is this? C N A. Okay. So there is no encryption added here. Okay. So forget username. At least if you're able to see username also, it is fine. But 1, 2, 3, 4. If I enter the password also, you will be able to see the password information also. Let me come to simulation mode. Okay, sorry. Let's do it again. So come to PC2, try taking telnet access, CCNA, and I will be entering the password. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here in the telnet data, I'm able to see the password also. So as we read, the main disadvantage of telnet is there will be no encryption. The data packets will be traveling in plain text format. So you're able to read the password, right? Telnet data is 2. In the third packet, telnet data is 3. And in the fourth packet, telnet data is 4. So the password is very much vulnerable because this data is traveling in plain text format. And when I press enter, I'm able to take the remote access of or telnet access of a router. See, I'm able to take. So this is the main disadvantage of telnet. There is no encryption when the data packets is getting exchanged. Whereas in SSH, there is encryption. Okay, so I will be showing you that part also. In SSH, there is encryption. So let's exit from this remote connections. Now I will be doing a SSH configuration. So how do we do a SSH configuration? Again, you will be mentioning line VTY. How many users? 0,2 because we have 3 PCs here. So 0,2, 0, 1, 2, 3 PCs. Again, we will say login local. And this time we will mention transport input give question mark. You are able to see SSH and telnet, right? So if you mention SSH, only SSH connections will be accepted. If you mention telnet, only telnet connections will be accepted. If you mention all, both SSH and telnet, both the connections will be accepted. If you mention none, both the connections will be rejected. So here I'm going to mention all, transport input all. After this, you will have to mention a domain name, IP domain name. Okay, this domain name can be anything. Okay, for example, cisco.com, r1.com, r2.com, anything. Just give a IP domain name and then you have to give crypto. Now this command will be adding the encryption. So this command will be adding the encryption. Crypto key generate RSA algorithm, general keys, modulus, and you have to mention the key. I will be mentioning the key value as 1024. So this 1024 will also decide which version of SSH to be enabled, because there are two versions of SSH, right? There is SSH version 1 and version 2. So which version of SSH to be enabled, this we will understand with the help of this key value. So we have told generate a crypto key using RSA algorithm, general keys method, and the key is 1024. Key size is 1024. So this is SSH configuration, and also you have to give a host name. Host name is already configured here, so I have already configured the host name as R1, and then you have to mention a username. Now this time username I'll mention as CCNP. Password I will mention as 4321. All right. So now I will take SSH connection from PC1. Okay, how do you take it? SSH username, IP address of the router or of the device, and if you press enter, here you have been prompted with the password. What is the password for CCNP? Username 4321. So I got the remote access of the router. Now let me take again from PC2. So totally how many users are allowed to take SSH connection simultaneously? 3, because there we have mentioned 0,2, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3 users can simultaneously take SSH access of this router. I will be mentioning the username and IP address of the router. Here it has prompted for password, and if we try to capture these packets, I will type the password as 4321. Okay, that is the password. So if you capture the packet and see in SSH, are you able to read the password? No. And what does it say? Here it says encrypted data. Similarly, you are not able to read the data here. You are not able to read the password, and it says it is encrypted. This is the reason SSH is more secure, and SSH is the most secure protocol for remote access. If you press enter, you will get the R1 access or the router's access. Enable privilege mode password is 1234, 4 zeros. Okay. And I have got the remote access of the R1. All right. So this is the major difference, guys. In Telnet, there was no encryption, whereas in SSH, there was encryption. And in SSH, we were not able to read what is the password, whereas in Telnet, I was able to read what is the password. Okay. This is the basic difference between Telnet and SSH. So SSH can mainly be used for public networks, and Telnet can be used for private networks or for small purposes. All right. All right, guys. Thank you then. I'll see you guys again in another video.